welcome to Friendship and Joy with me, Karen, today. Okay, oh wow, it's been a while since I last did a video, and I will tell you why today. A lot of things have happened since my last episode, which was just before Christmas. It is now February 22nd today, and as you can see, I'm not in my knitting studio at home. I'm in Sweden. I never thought I would be traveling back to Sweden, and during the pandemic I had every intention of coming home when all of this was over. But as you know, nothing ever turns out as you plan. There's an expression that says when you make plans, God laughs at you, and that's pretty much how I feel right now. On New Year's Eve, as I was getting ready to have a little dinner for New Year's Eve, I got this strong intuition that I needed to go home. And I argued with myself and said, no, I'm not gonna go home, and not during this time. I'll go in the summer, or I go in next December, I go when all of this is over. But that nagging little thought kept going on in my head, saying, no, go home now, go home now. I know that my father's health has been declining. He's suffering from heart and kidney failure. And that thought was telling me if I want to go and see my father, I should go now. And so I listened to that intuition. I told my husband, and he's very, very supportive. And the very next day, on January 1st, on New Year's Day, he helped me book a ticket. I found an apartment to rent, and off I went. And I left on January 2nd, and I have been here ever since. I just had to come home. And I am so thankful that I listened to that little voice, because my father, he's alive, he's well. But as I was isolating before going to see my parents, he suffered a heart attack. He ended up in the hospital. We almost lost him. They weren't able to perform the bypass surgery, and the stent surgery failed because of his health conditions, and he's in his 80s, so he's kind of fragile and weak. So while he was in the hospital, I was then able to stay with my mom so that she was not alone during this time. You know, you sit there and you dread that phone call. Because of COVID, we couldn't go and see him at all. And every time the phone rang, we both jumped, afraid to answer, because we were dreading what the message could be. To make a long story short, my father ended up with blood transfusions and this and that, and he was eventually released from the hospital to come home, with the blockages and everything still there around his heart, because it could not be remedied. But at least he was home with us, and we could take care of him. And he's been recovering ever since, and he's doing well now. I'm actually finally relaxing a little bit. I'm here until they get their shots and I can organize some more structured help for them. I am thankful for that little nagging thought in my head to come home, because that has taught me to really value each and every day that I have with my parents. So even though I'm homesick, I want to go home, I miss my husband, I miss my kids, I'm here, and I'm checking in on my parents every day. But I walk over to their place, I don't really see anyone else. The only one I've gotten together with are my sisters, who have antibodies because they've already had COVID, or my best friend from high school, and we go out for walks outside. Other than that, I go home and I check in on my parents and just sit with them a little bit every day and talk to them, and, you know, enjoying their company. So that is where I'm at. And during this time, my goodness, have I knitted. Let's talk about knitting. Let's talk about something fun. Knitting always puts a smile on my face. I finished the scarf that I didn't have any intentions on finishing anytime soon. Of course, it got finished. And I have needed it because it's been so cold here that this shawl, scarf, whatever you call it, has really kept me warm. The leftover yarns that I had from the Treville sweater that I finished, I have made a little sweater. I'm almost finished with it, but I'm gonna hold it up and show you. Again, I do not have a pattern for this, but I have gotten inspiration from the Treville sweater when it comes to the increases in the construction of the sweater. And the pattern, if you are familiar with Andrea Mowry's Night Shift shawl, you can see that I have taken some strong inspiration from that shawl to just make myself a little happy sweater. This is like a happy colors, warm and nice. I did start another sweater that I think I showed you the yoke for. I ran out of the yarn, so I have ordered more yarn so I can finish this sweater. I got this far with that one. Let me hold that up so I can show you this. Also, my own design. I didn't have a pattern for this. It's just a raglan sleeve. And I want to finish it off. I ran out of the white yarn, so I ordered more so I can finish it, and then I think I'm just gonna finish off with the wine colored ribbing at the bottom of the sleeves and at the bottom of the sweater. So I have some yarn and I have some projects to work with while I'm here. And also, when I go back to Canada, I'm gonna be sitting in a hotel for a few days, so I hope I need some yarn to keep me sane for that. I have also ordered some beautiful yarn because I found this cardigan that I want to knit. The pattern is also from Andrea Mowry, and the pattern is called, or the cardigan is called Spark. And I ordered yarn from a Swedish place here. The white part is going to be knit in this yarn from Järbo. It is called Svensk Ull. And it is a beautiful wool yarn. And the contrasting color I found in Malabrigo. I don't know how you pronounce it, Malabrigo or Malabrigo or Malabrigo, I don't know. But anyways, look at this beautiful, beautiful gradient yarn. It's made in Peru, and it is pure superwash merino wool. So this together with that white is, I'm so excited, I can't wait. However, I have to brace myself and finish off the two sweaters I have on the go. You can have 2 projects on the go. Once you have 3 projects, it gets a little too distracting. So I force myself to finish, even though I'm itching to dig into this. The only thing here in this apartment, I don't have my yarn winder that I have at home, so I'm gonna have to set this up around 2 chairs and go to it. Just unwind it. As I'm knitting my little sweater here, I think that with this particular sweater, I'm not going to do, I don't know if I have enough yarn to actually make long sleeves, but I'm almost wanting to do I don't know if I'm gonna go all the way down with the sleeves. I might just end here to have like a, not even a 3/4, but actually like a long short sleeved sweater, and finish off after this dark part here. If I have enough yarn to finish up, I might do so, but yeah, we'll see. I can't wait to wear it. Flatten it out and wear it. It's the colors make me happy. It's like warm. I can see this even wearing it in the winter, but also wearing it this also in the summer with, let's say, white jeans or a pair of linen pants or something on a cooler night. I'm looking forward to wrap myself in this yarn. One nice thing about being in Norrköping is And it feels strange being back in my hometown. I live a couple of blocks away from where I went to high school. And coming back, I've actually not been in Sweden this long since I left in the 80s when I moved to Canada. So it is interesting to be back and actually stay here for an extended period of time and get the feel for Swedish life. And even though I'm not used to living here, I feel right at home, obviously, you know. But I look at all the buildings and the street and the architecture with new eyes, and I never realized when I lived here how beautiful it is. Norrköping is such a beautiful city. I quite love it here. It's a fairly large city when it comes to Swedish standards. I think it's 5th or 6th largest city in Sweden, maybe. But to me it feels small because I'm used to Toronto. I love the fact that I can walk to everywhere. I walk from my apartment to my parents' house. I walk to the grocery store. I walk everywhere. And if it's too cold or if I'm too tired, I hop on the streetcar. This project bag that I keep the work in, isn't that adorable? I got this for Christmas from my children. Isn't that sweet? They ordered this bag online, I believe. It is called Lotus Stitching. And I don't know if it's an Etsy store, but they ordered it online from Lotus Stitching. And it is a beautiful canvas type bag that you can keep your yarn in. And of course I have all the little balls of yarn in there. I don't know if you can see, but look how cute the fabric on the inside is. It is so well made. Inside there is you have yarn. You can feed the yarn through there so that it is held in place. And you have a stitch marker here fastened onto a little ring so you can keep your stitch markers handy. There are pockets inside this little bag. Such a beautiful, beautiful little project bag that I absolutely adore, with a nice little handle. Little things like this to keep your working project in makes it that much more fun. I don't know, I just love the fact that I can take this and bring it over to my parents' house and I can sit there and knit there for a little bit. Such an adorable, cute little bag. My children are so thoughtful. It was such a nice gift. They couldn't have given me a nicer gift for Christmas. It feels like a long, long time ago I saw my kids. It's been a while and I'm not going to be able to see them anytime soon. I'm hoping to be back home in April. By then my parents should have had their vaccine, and then I'll have to do my quarantine and all of that, and then I can probably see them again. So life in Norrköping is pretty much, I would say it's almost 90% normal. Stores are open, restaurants are open, cafes are open. I don't really go to any of them because I'm being careful because I'm seeing my mom and dad on a daily basis. But I like the feeling of life going on as normal as it possibly can around you. I did go into a couple of yarn stores. They don't have a lot of yarn stores in Norrköping, unfortunately. But I did go into the local one here, not far from where I live actually. But I feel that the yarn situation could be way better. But the lady I spoke to in that yarn store, she said that it's not that common for people to knit here, which is a little shocking to me because, as you probably heard in a previous episode, pretty much everyone was taught to knit in school. I don't know if they still do. And all my Swedish girlfriends in Toronto, pretty much all of them, knit. It's a big thing. We all knit. So the knitting community in Norrköping anyways is very small. I don't think they have a lot of people knitting, or knitting groups, or knitting stores, or classes, or yarn shops for that matter. It doesn't seem to be that big of a deal. So I'm wondering, where do people go in Norrköping for good yarn? Do they only order it online like I had to do? There's 2 stores, and they had basically just they didn't have the cool indie yarn dyers or the smaller, they had more like generic brand yarns that are nice, but it's not necessarily all the kind of yarn you want to. I don't want to sound like a yarn snob, but sometimes you want good quality yarn to knit with. Life is too short to knit with cheap yarn, as they say. I don't know where people go for good yarn here. If anyone from Norrköping should see this and they have a tip, let me know, because I would like to. I have some yarn to tie me over for a bit, but since it seems like I'm gonna be here for a while, it would be fun to go and visit some nice cool little yarn shops. It looks like we have a lot more of that in Toronto, and it also makes me feel more grateful for all the yarn stores that we have in Toronto. And even though everything is locked down as of the moment, you can still order online from those yarn shops. So if you're familiar with the yarn, it's easy to order from them. So that's just a little update for now. Now you know where I've been, what I'm doing, and I hope that you are all safe, healthy, and in good spirits, and that you have a lot of fun with your knitting. Until next time, take care. Bye. It's been an ordeal. I ramble on too much. What do you call these? Whoop. Trivets? What are these called? Don't know. Knitting keeps you sane, so that's what I'm gonna do today.